And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Map 2 of this best of 3, Epsilon versus LGR. This is the upper bracket for the closed qualifier for the RGN Pro Series in Europe. And we have Epsilon LGR. I have a co-host with me. His name is Max. Max, how are we doing?
Doing pretty good right now. I mean, I'm really excited to see that second map.
Oh yeah, so here we go. It's starting off Epsilon on the CT side, so it's going to be USP round. This is a skill galore. So Freddy B is actually push up. This is the only player 4B for them, so early information, smoke goes out. He's going to fall back. They're going to just really good play there to actually probably hinder that progression, because you can't really, you'd think you'd smoke that off, and then you can just run up behind it, but they're not going to have any cover as Freddy B got that early info, falls back, gets 3 kills, and then the Ro8 comes in and Disco cleans up. So just really good play there by Epsilon. Again, going aggressive on that CT side, and I really think that little delay there really meant the difference.
I mean, I don't know what Epsilon did there, but Freddy just hit some crazy USP shot there. He actually held B almost on his own. It's actually a really hard task when the teasers just come plowing at you like they did there. Especially with the smoke, since you don't really have all those angles to look at. But he was just looking around, tapping those 1 USPs. I mean, Epsilon is looking really strong, and Dust 2 is a map that I like because it's really open. The aim has to be there on Dust 2, I feel like. And
Yeah.
we should see Epsilon excel on this map.
Yeah, there's not a lot of smokes you can really throw. So LGR just doing their best to do a light kind of default to take over that mid control, and that's just really hard to do when you don't have a lot of grenades. And normally in a default, the point is to get duels, and when you're dueling against better weaponry and head armor, it doesn't really play out that well. So LGR do get the control, or excuse me, get control of A, but that's because Epsilon has abandoned the bomb sites because they know that the bomb's down in mid after they converged on it. And I think we're just going to see a lot of this style from Epsilon on the CT side. It's going to be, oh, where are they? Oh, we have 3 people there. Let's all go fight them together kind of thing. So going in round 3, this is another anti-ego, and LGR has not really invested that much into it. 1 Deagle, few P250s. Looking at where they're going, 2 players going lower, kind of spot in mid. Again, it's kind of like a light default, and Epsilon continue to push. 1 guy lower gets the kills, and then they push up catwalk, and they just converge on mid, denying that. I don't know why you'd kind of want to do a default on an eco round versus them. I would kind of think instead of trying to gain map control, see if they maybe push into you, like just do crossfires. But then again, I'm casting and they're playing, so pretty straightforward round.
I mean, the reason why you could have maybe tried to do a type of defaults, try to get those picks going on. Maybe they knew or expected Epsilon to maybe push again. So if they actually rush somewhere as T's, they could have probably get like just shut down. So like, oh, just wait for them to push us. Let's see if we can get those picks, and if we can just, you know, make them rotate and try to execute somewhere.
Absolutely, and Epsilon trying to do a little tricky play there. Actually set up on a 2-1-2 for their defense, but that middle player didn't peek until the very last second, and he actually threw a flashbang, but the terrorist picking down mid and holding did a great job on winning that fight. So he's going to continue holding that spot. He has the op, so he's going to let his little minions running around try to see if he can get some more map control, and they're just about to gain the cat. Molotov going down, going to push Zelos off of that spot, and terrorists kind of just grouped up right around that Xbox area, see if someone peeks them, and actually does. Twista could have got a kill there, but who was that? Freddy B is going to fight or pull off 5-7, or excuse me, X7 is going to push up. No kill for him. Freddy B's kind of in a tough spot, flashes himself to get out, but 7 keeps him down with some suppression fire. And a mid B smoke goes down, and just great pick there by Zori to open that up. They know that Freddy B was playing close to this tunnel, so they're going to look for him. Twisto walks out, and great smoke shot, but followed up by Saw. So now it's a 2-on-2. They got a cross still. Op shot there. Doesn't hit it. Saw's going to cover him. Zori is close, and he has an op, so let's see where he positions himself. Yeah, he's going to go back right of the site. The retake's coming in from Epsilon. Rez is already pushed up in B halls, and Zelos is looking at the door. So it's going to be a two-pronged attack to control it. Zuri has the advantage here with an AWP on that tunnel. Rez has to hit a dirty shot here, just tagging him little by little, and Zelos gets that kill, finds another one, and oh my goodness. Just really great job there. Using that suppression fire beautifully. I mean, Rez just only showing his shoulder, getting one bullet on at a time, just continuing to draw the attention of that op, leaving Zelos the window to get a one-on-one through that window. And the players playing right underneath there, that's a perfect fight for an ump, and then he just gets the follow-up kill right after because he knows exactly where he is.
And look at the money right now on the Epsilon side. The money is looking so good. Like, even Zelos that round didn't drop the scout, kept the scout, and at the end picked up the UMP to rush in, and he gets an AWP out of it. I mean, he gave it to his teammate, but he got an AWP out of it, and I feel like Epsilon played that round really well, even though LGR Zari actually got 2 nice entry pick with the AWP. I just felt like LGR wasn't able to close out that round. At the end, it was a 2v2 on the B-bomb side. It's not the easiest side to retake, but not the hardest either. And maybe it was a misplayed on their part. Maybe we should have stuck together a bit.
Yeah, it was a pretty interesting round. I mean, if you get that pick in mid, it's really hard to lose after that. And they found a way to do it. Really well played by Epsilon. They gain long control, LGR does. And Draken's kind of in a tough spot here. He's stuck at car. The Ro8's coming in. They're throwing smoke stuff for him to maybe get out of there. And he's using that smoke to back up. So pretty good. But LGR's just going to push right into it. And Draken did not just get out of dodge like he probably should have. And LGR punishes that. So Zelos gets that kill. Tries to go for follow-up, but doesn't get into the smoke in time. So now they have the terrorists have control over the bomb site. And the Ro8s are coming in. Disco Doppler in a pretty cool spot to hold from... for the CT push, and then Freddy B is up cat, but Saw is at that elevator area, so he's heard all of the footsteps and will be able to capitalize on that. But Doppler, perfect spot to get that follow-up. Puts it into a 1-on-2, struggling hardcore to find exactly what gun he wants. There we go. He finds the AK. He's looking around, spots that player at elbow, and now the bomb is planted for long platform, which is exactly where Zori is, and he gets that kill. So, LGR doing a good job, kind of waiting out a little bit in the beginning of that round, getting that long control, and then leveraging that into the bomb site.
And that's what I like on the LGR part. I like when you take the long control on Dust 2. It gives you so much room to work with. You basically have the entire ramp and goose control and the side, so that means the CTs need to be playing either towards the elevator or even more pushed up cat. And I feel like when you try to do an execute out of that, it gives you more room as T's to work with. And at the end, this Kodoplin tried a really nice 1v2. It almost worked out in his way, but I mean, you cannot win them all.
No, you can't. So going into this round, CTs lose that round, and you know what? If we're gonna lose that round, let's just answer back with a double op setup. Sounds good to me. Starts off really well. Both of the ops coming up with their entry kills. Rez following it up as they're trying to come out mid. Pulls out a nade and Twista punishes them for that. And Doppler looking for anything coming out, but they've already retreated. They've grouped up on catwalk together. Twista just a few steps behind. And Draken, the only presence at A at the moment, I believe. Yeah, because they have a player at top mid right now. So they go up catwalk, misses that initial kill, and now that's an open bomb site. I don't think they'll expect it to be that open, but Molotov going down on catwalk prevents that quick rotate. So they'll be able to get the bomb down pretty handedly. They have an opportunity here to get into good position, and it looks like they're going to try to cross long. Zuri picking up that op. I believe he's the opper normally on that, so that could be a good little surprise there, but they're already anticipating it. A Molotov flushes him out of that spot, and now it's a 1-on-3. Twista gets the 1-on-1 on Cat. He needs to win this fight, and he does. Headshot for him. Finds Zelos, runs out of ammo. The Doppler is up from the ramp. Twista! 3 kills, man. That's insane. I mean, LGR did what they could. Epsilon, I mean, they start off that round 3-on-5, man. And all you really need to do is kind of turtle up in the sights after that and make sure that nothing crazy happens. But we see the positionings from the CT. You only have one player at A. You have a player at CT spawn. But when you're so confident and you play like that all the time, ooh, the Zelos. Oh my God, That's insane. Did you see what that was? That's
Nah, I wasn't watching Zealous though.
he got boosted in middle and jump scouted above the double door for the T op pick. That's incredible. I'm so glad he hit that shot. Hope we got that on camera. It's a save round for the CTs. And a 4-on-4, but there's no weaponry. The CTs are basically bleeding out of their ears. Nades still to be thrown by the terrorists. They have bomb site control. Zealous doing what he can with the scout, jumping over, smokes, looking for heads. They still have control from elbow, so Sagerton trying to do what he can. Saw as well. More players coming in. Twista's coming in with the grenade, so that's going to help out a lot. Molotov flushes him out. Easy kill for Saw. But they haven't really spotted Draken from elevator yet. And Zealous, they know Zealous was Cat, so he's going to drop off, try to find a different angle, and isn't able to find anyone. So still 1-3. Draken is at elevator. He hears all these footsteps. He has a good idea of where a lot of them are. Zealous tags, gets that information that that player's low, so Draken's going to push and capitalize on that. Didn't think that that player was going to be on top of that box, which is a crazy off angle just for that situation. So advantage terrorists, and they're going to be able to win this round. But the damage was done by Epsilon. I mean, they spent around probably like $4,000 on what they had, and were able to kill 3 players. So really good economic gain in that little battle that happens between terrorists and CTs. And just trying to gain a little bit more footing in this control, like just more control. The less rounds that the CTs have, you know, smokes and Molotovs on top of the rifle weaponry, the better.
Yes, and right now I really want to see what Epsilon answer is to LGR kind of play right now, because it seems like they really like to take that A-bomb side, take that long control, and right now I like that Epsilon button up. It's going to give them a little bit more room to work with, and I cannot wait to see if Draken actually kills Ori, like in those opening picks, it's going to be looking good for Epsilon. It always looks good when you get the first pick, obviously, but I feel right now like the op is kind of making a difference on that map so far.
Oh yeah, you gotta win this off fights on Dust 2, and the duel is in full effect here. Zuri has it. He's been holding mid this whole time, just inching his way up. Pop Flash gets Freddie Lee out of that position. Flash comes over, gives him a little bit of cover in terms of, you know, now he could be anywhere, and he's backed up into CT spawn, giving full control of mid and Cat. So Pop Flash goes in, great flash to Pop Flash the Opper, and then 7 follows it up with a kill. So Cat control is gained, and now the CTs need to answer back with something, or they just need to turtle up. But not the case. Actually, the lone player is Disco at B, and I'm not sure what the terrorists are going to do. They're all grouped up on Catwalk. They're doing a Cat execute. I think it's the same one we see Nip normally throw a lot of the time. Missing a few smokes, of course. 7 jumps down from elevator, gets the cover smoke so that that Rez, the player along, can't even help, and then oh my god, just turret mode. He's full Terminator. Coming back from the past, he knew exactly where all the players were, because he's from the year 2050 and downloaded the demo, and he just insta-gibbed everyone just running around. So LGR needs that sort of play. I mean, you kind of need some what is it, BDPs by some of these players, and we don't really see that from LGR. They've been winning a lot of the rounds with, like, you know, kind of chess moves. It seems like, you know, we're here, and we won the fights. Where, you know, sometimes you just need those rounds where it's like all logic is thrown out the window and this guy just headshot everyone.
And I really liked how they executed that A strat. Like X7, obviously he hit some crazy ass shot there, like on the guy's CT spawn and guy in pit, like was 2 nice like AK shots. But at the same time, I feel like Epsilon should not die first. Like they should maybe try to put a little bit. Either they need to start playing a little bit more aggressive on their CT side, trying to take more cat control, or maybe even pushing into B tunnels. But they should not be one guy somewhere just dying alone. Yeah, look at him right now.
Did you see the jump? No,
yeah.
They're off. Okay, good. Wanted you to see that because it's pretty sexy. I don't think I've ever really seen that before. So really cool, really good spray control by Saw right there through the smoke. Brings Zealous down to barely alive, and he's gonna rotate out, get to the back of B platform. Epsilon is saving here, so Deagles, CZs. They're going to try to do what they can. And they've done a good amount of early damage, but here we go. Zuri opening it up, getting that kill on the Draken. There's no more nades left by the CTs, so they're going to have to only talk with their guns. Moving around, Sagerton putting that presence on Catwalk. The terrorists have full control here. They can do what they want. It's just a matter of positioning themselves, and let's see how the CTs react to that. So great play here, I think, from Freddy to just give up B in this situation. I mean, they have cat control. It's a 50-50, so to speak, that are they going to go cat or are they going to go B? It's just so happens that they're going to go B. They're clearing out mid now, getting the early information. They don't see anything, but the bomb site is open. They're progressing right now. Molotov going to flush out that angle. No one to be burned there. Smokes goes down for the cross, but then Disco's already pushed up, and that was an easy, or it could have been an easy kill for Disco. Going for the headshot, obviously, but he didn't know Zuri was that low, but he was only 9 HP there. So great, big kill by Zuri to maintain the advantage, and now Epsilon is just going to set up, try to see if they can get any exit kills here.
And I like how LGR is playing that T side so far. It seems like they got a little bit more confidence compared to that Mirage match that we just saw earlier. And we might be looking at a map that's more into LGR playstyle, maybe more the type of map that they like to play, because so far it seems like they're hitting their shot right now, and Epsilon doesn't seem to have an answer. Their money isn't looking that great. They try to force battle a bit more on the rounds that they have to save. I feel like they should maybe save a little bit more, like full save, try to get better utilities, better money, so you can have like molly, flash, smoke, and nade. But instead,
just a quick note right there, that Zealous kill, that was actually the op for them, and they weren't able to recover that. So as you see, Zuri just had to dump $5,900 just because of a little bit careless of a mistake. Yeah, sorry to cut you off there.
And right now we see 2 ops and a scout.
Yeah, and they're trying to answer back, do a double pick at mid while Draken's still opping long, and Zuri gets that kill. He's been winning that fight in particular very steadily for the terrorist squad, which that's probably, you know, the most important fight of the map. They take control. Zuri gets another kill on a Drac, so that's 2 snipers down for Zuri. Rez in elevator, sees a player run by and is stuck. They know exactly where he is, has a flash. The Molotov is just not able to go, and Sagerton squashes that quick. He knew that the smoke was down from CT spawn, so there was no cover from Epsilon, even though that there was a player behind that smoke, so he's able to push up from that ledge and get that kill. Dust is settled, and it's a 2-on-2. Twister and Sagerton versus Disco and Freddy B. They're going to do with some set smokes. That's actually a nice smoke for that catwalk area if you're going to retake from long, so they can't get on that box and look over that. So they're going to come in here. Cross coming in as well. It's almost like too much utility coming in from the Epsilon side. It's kind of funny because since they're the more skill-based team. Smoke goes down. It's going to give Sagerton complete cover and actually gives puts Twist in a tough spot, but Sagerton just emerges through the smoke. Easy trade for him, and now it's 6-4 in favor, and the money is starting to stack up. At least it's full money bonus for Epsilon here on out, and then a pause coming in. So let's give our color analysts a little bit of time to kind of like digest what's going on here. So Max, what do you do if you're Epsilon here? You've lost 6 in a row. What kind of defense are you putting in?
I mean, you try to figure out what's happening right now. So far, they tried to go for that mid duels. It didn't really pay off on the Epsilon side. I feel like they didn't really try any of that cat control where they push cat, and it might be something that they should try. Maybe like get into cat, push it all the way down, try to get an angle on the palm tree or the speedway. I would really like them to see that, because so far what they're doing is they're leaving an upper at A, which is Draken, and most of the time is playing at car. And what LGR likes to do so far is do a simple A split with either 3 guy long or 3 guy cat and then 2 on the opposite side. And whenever Draken gets that first pick at car, which is like if he gets that pick towards cat, then the guy long knows he's at car, they molly him off, he has to basically get out there, and it's a free trade kill. So I think Draken needs to maybe change his spot. He needs to stop playing towards that car, maybe play towards the A ramp would be better, or even maybe play more far back and long, so actually by pit or like on that long corner, so that way you can maybe see what's going towards long, get that pick, then after that maybe fall back. I feel like the car position is not great. Towards the B bomb side, it seems like LGR isn't going there as much anymore. So maybe that guy in B could maybe try to get more aggressive into the tunnels without really crossing, so they could see if they're actually sitting these sponges, get an entire control of it, so they can actually Epsilon can focus or rotate towards the A bomb side and maybe stack it. Because so far Epsilon doesn't really have any answer to the LGR A take, even though those rounds were pretty close. Like we've seen like 3v1 in Epsilon that actually lost because I think it was Twista that actually did that 1v3. Then the last round we just saw a 2v2 that Epsilon lost. It could have been underside again. And you know, those types of rounds are really important. You need to win them, and when you don't win them, sometimes they actually hurt your confidence. You're like, oh well, I mean, we need you to figure something out right now because LGR isn't like as bad as we thought they would be. Like they're actually pretty impressive on that map, and it seems like Epsilon is trying to understand and try to read them in a proper way, but it just doesn't work. Every time they tried like their double op setup, they try to peek mid, a guy dies, and then LGR is already up in their face, just rushing up cat and long, and then this other guy dies, and it just like right now it seems like Epsilon doesn't have any answer, and LGR is just playing like the perfect game. LGR is playing Epsilon T side on Mirage, and Epsilon is playing like LGR was playing on CT side on Mirage.
Yeah, it is a pretty interesting contrast. So, great job filling in that entire timeout for us, and we're back live. So, looks like Epsilon gonna go for a little bit long control, smoke it off, and LGR playing very spread out. One player lower, a few players mid, trying to gain control over Cat. Zuri actually peeks at angle pretty well, but both of the ops miss each other. So Draken is gonna back off, gonna go towards B while where Freddy B is pushed up a little bit. So now that mid presence is gone, we're gonna see LGR gain cat control again. At Epsilon, here's the change that they need to make, like in this little window right here. Gets some sort of aggression here, and it does just that. Disco pushes up, is able to get a duel with Sagerton, and then he comes up big. So now it's 4-on-5. He's able to just secure long even better. Upgrades his ump to an AK, and now Zelos holding catwalk. He's gonna molly, which is kind of an interesting spot, and it's just gonna push them up into him, and he wasn't able to get that kill. So cat control still controlled. LGR takes away the advantage for the CTs, but with all that noise, Freddy B has gotten that Q to push up B just like you wanted to see him, and now they're setting up for the cat execute. But I think if they don't dedicate a Molotov here for this push, it's going to be hard. And actually, right when the execute comes down, Twista spots him, so they are very conscious of it. Throws a great molly to suppress him down. Rez getting a kill. Draken on that ramp finds another, and I feel like they sniffed out this execute at just the right time. 4-6. Bomb is down, or excuse me, 4-on-2 rather. Bomb is down. Twista making a BDP, jumping down, but Draken able to capitalize onto that. Saw's left in the site, able to cap off Freddy, but Rez coming in, finishes off the kill, or finish off the round for Epsilon, and they answer right back.
Good round by Epsilon there. I like how that guy in B actually got really aggressive towards the lower tunnel, actually cleared the entire B tunnel, so they knew it was an execute. What I didn't like on the LGR part, I feel like when you do a full execute cat, which is with 5 or 4 player, in that case 4, for the CTs it just makes it easier because they all have to focus on one spot. And that's why I like that little split area, because when you're splitting, then those guys at A need to be looking at long and cat. In that case, you just look at cat. And maybe they need to go back to what they used to do, but nonetheless it was a really good execute. It just didn't really work well for them because Epsilon had so much map control that they knew they were going to do that type of execute.
Right, so going to this next round, double op pick from mid, and wow, just really great trading back and forth. They kept both ops at middle. Disco was a little bit of the aggressive one, pushes up and gets that kill. Zelos is up on cat. Here's all this information. Free kill on the twist. Here's that the op is at Xbox, jumps up, and wow, what a great spray control. Able to finish off that third guy. And Epsilon answers back in great Epsilon style of just, you know, good job getting those kills at mid. That's happened a few times, but then they weren't able to cap off the round. And Zelos just doing a good job, just absorbing all that information around him. Footstep here, scope here, able to just pinpoint exactly where majority of those players are, and then capitalize on it. That's just all it takes for some of these players. Just give them a little bit of information, and they're gonna take that for a mile. So eco round for LGR, pretty big throwaway round. Good crossfire from Rez to cover Zelos after getting those kills. Draken just doing work at mid, and that was like pretty much a full save from LGR. They played it like they just wanted to get that round over with. It's 7-6. Epsilon has retaken the lead now, and LGR, they need to get back to where they were before, work that magic. But when you lose these types of rounds and the equipment pressure, or the pressure on the money game is starting to kick into effect, and now you don't have Zuri with an op at mid, so he's not able to give you that early information. So to mask that, they're going to put a heavy presence at lower, get that mid control. Sagerton and Zuri doing a crossfire at upper B. It looks like Freddy B and Disco Doppler are going to push right into this crossfire. Let's see how this plays out. Spots it, gets that control. Sagerton gets that trade, and then Freddy B isn't able to capitalize, even though I think Freddy played that pretty well considering how Sagerton played it. So quick rotate coming in. Draken throwing a flash over quick, try to see if he can capitalize. Able to spot ahead, but it's one of those situations where you see like 2 or 3 people on your screen, you don't know which one to pick, and wasn't able to capitalize. Rez rotates, is very distracted by the players coming in to B, that he isn't ready for Twista to shoot him right in the back. So LGR answers back, man. This great job of setting up, where I think if there's only one player set up at upper B in that round, it might have gone in favor of Epsilon, and they haven't really been doing that. So it's just kind of one of those just excellent chess moves that by the end game leader to, you maybe not necessarily think like, oh, they're definitely pushing upper B, but you're setting up for,
What type of pushers?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If the situation unfolds that way, we're able to handle it, and it was exactly that case. So Zealous gonna try to survive. They know exactly where he is now. The terrorists are kind of triangulating a little bit, but I don't know if they're gonna be able to find him, and they actually will, and they pick up the op too. So that's double op. See how much money they have. Man, that's pretty big for the terrorists. I think pretty much what would have happened if that didn't go is someone would be tech-9ing, I think. Actually, there's actually an extra. Is there an extra AK down? Well, whatever. They're double op picking from the terrorist side. They actually get Freddy B down to 20 HP, which is kind of big, especially because he has an auto sniper, which basically means he's got to hit him twice, so that's going to leave a little bit of a window for someone to just nick him and he's dead. And Draken pushing in long, trying to find an angle, gets punished for it, and then Rez follows up. Sagerton trying to push after they got that kill at long and gain the full control, but wasn't to no avail. Disco Doppler following up, holding middle, and it's just sniper city on CT side. So Freddy B behind that B plat. Saw's looking right at him, and actually didn't matter if he got legged crossing because he just instant caps him off. Smoke goes down. That's a lot of nade pressure for the CTs to converge. Flash is coming over, and Doppler just gets completely caught by that. But Zelos on that quick rotate catches the window player, but that's not the player with the bomb. That's Zuri. So Zuri's going to get the bomb down. Gets set up. Some random spray from Zelos, and oh my goodness. Gets the dink. Zuri throws the molly at the window, which can kind of get a little hairy sometimes as the flames can just spread in any which direction, and it's actually able to kill him. So Zelos just doing Zelos things, gets that dink, but Saw trades him out. Rez answers right back, and then that's an Epsilon win to end the half.
Good round there by Epsilon. Obviously, at the end, it didn't really... I mean, it's unfortunate on this T side that actually guy pulled the Summit, but I mean, it happens to everybody now. It seems like since Summit did it, everybody seems to die to mollies of their own. I don't know how it's even possible. I just find it funny. Other than that, I feel like Epsilon kind of started catching back at the end. I really like how they adapted I mean, it took them a while to adapt, but I really like how they adapted. Went for that heavy up setup, tried to play a little bit more casual Dust 2, and it worked well for them. Right now, I'm really impressed to see what their T side looks like because it's one of those maps that everybody says, well, we feel like it's an even map. Like you can go 8-7 on both sides, or it can be a more CD sided map or a T sided map. So I'm really interested to see for Epsilon if it's a T or a CT sided map because 8 round on CT is pretty acceptable if their T side is really good.
Yeah, and I think it'll kind of play into their play style a little bit more. So going in, pistol round, early kill at long, and they answer right back while they're crossing, but LGR is in pretty good position, but Epsilon gained control. At least they did. Zuri gets that kill onto Draken, and now Disco is bleeding out of his ears trying to get that bomb down. Still has a P250, so he can go for some kills here, but Nade's gonna flush him out of the sight. Zelos 1-on-2, has a tech. Gooshes Zuri needs to get this kill on Twist, but good job just peeking right after that that dink. I don't know if Zuri, if he got dinked and then he holds that, if Twista wins that fight alone, but I think it really needed both of those players to peek at the same time to finish them off. But bomb goes down, so they will get a decent amount of money here. Let's see what they choose to buy with it. It is 8-8, so do you play a little bit slower, or are you trying to answer right back? I think they're just going to go with we're Swedish, we insta-headshot everyone on our screen, so let's get deagles and spread around the map. So 2 players going towards B, 2 towards A, 1 mid. Bombs down to T-spawn. Seems like a typical Epsilon setup for the T side. Now they're going to converge on mid quickly, but LGR are not playing mid. They're playing a very passive kind of just team anti-eco setup, a 2-1-2 to be exact, and with Epsilon getting up cat, kind of puts them on edge here. We'll see if they can get any head angles, and see if any of these deagles can go into work. Saw starts us off, gets Freddy B. Molotov goes down, he's gonna cut Zelos off, and then Zuri follows up. So that Molotov is gonna prevent them crossing from elbow. Smoke's gonna go prevent them from getting comfortable at catwalk, but they're just crouching right on there, and it trades out in favor of Epsilon. But Segerton with that rotate comes in, gets the kill. Doplin stuck at that elevator area, and then 7 pushes up to the smoke and looks right by it and gets that kill. But again, it was just really deagles. So yeah, you see the insta buy from AKs. They're just trying to see what they can do with it. I thought they did a pretty good job.
It was a good job. What I didn't like about that is I felt like they didn't really utilize the deagle as much as what they could have. They went up cat, the people were kind of playing towards car. The range isn't that bad, but like I would have liked them to be more towards long because the deagle is a really good long range gun. And I felt like it was kind of more medium range, and the UMP is actually pretty good in medium range as well. And because of that, I felt like they could have maybe invested into more utilities on this round if they went for just straight up, Tech 9 or even P250 and did the same thing. Instead, they went for deagles, more expensive, and right now you see that they barely have any smokes and flashes. They only have 1 smoke and 1 flash. That's it.
And what a beautiful defense there by LGR. But Epsilon still find their way into the site, but bombs down at mid. One of the worst things to happen when you do the mid-B split. When you're just booking it up to the door, you're thinking, please don't get shot in the back, please don't get shot in the back, and then you do get shot in the back and the bomb drops, but you were so committed to even just get to the window safely that just kind of puts the CTs at a very advantageous position. I saw him play behind that CT spawn box. Beautiful angle for the mid-B split. Played right into the crossfire with the second player and B playing the doors. So they just handled that situation really well, and Zelos runs all the way around thinking that LGR is going to be super focused on mid, and that was the case. No one was looking at long, and he was able to get that kill. So now Zelos is rotated all the way around to Cat. They smoke off CT spawn. Pretty sure that Saw should have seen him, but not sure what the case may be. 15 seconds left. LGR is spread out. Zelos completely ignoring that guy's CT spawn. 10 seconds left, and this is just really good job by LGR. I mean, they gave Zelos that free kill from him flanking at long, but I think in that 1-on-2, not giving him anything really to shoot at, you kind of put a player in a hard position to be like, well, do I press forward or am I anticipating that player like strafing out again and he's going to shoot me? And when you kind of do that, when the time's pressed, then you kind of put them at an awkward spot. So LGR playing that pretty well, and they're going to maintain their lead.
I mean, really good round again by LGR. They played it really smart at the end with that 2v1. Didn't give any room for that T to actually make any move, which was Zealous. But, I mean, sick deagle play there by Epsilon. Oh my.
And that's just sometimes how it rolls. When Epsilon get that headshot and you're kind of taken aback, even like just hearing it sometimes will make you you know, take a step back in your seat. And the rotates were a little bit slow, and just because of how fast Epsilon's able to work, and they stay grouped up and they completely converge. And this is a nightmare scenario for LGR. You do so good, you do the great, you know, take the duels, you play it out, and then you play the 1-on-2 beautifully, and then come into the theoretical easier round where it's anti-eco, and you just get completely capped by Zelos, and all conventional Counter-Strike is thrown out the window. So just great individual play, kind of like what we need to see from Zelos. Twisted, good off angle, but Freddy B follows it up beautifully, and Epsilon answer back. And let's take a look at the CT money here going in, and ouchie wawa. That is not a good sight. So they're going to go for actually pretty interesting round. We see LG do this sometimes because you have Fallen on your team, and Fallen's like the smartest AWP player of all time. So let's see if Saw can do that as well. Even though that they, you know, this should have been a save round, all things considering, you have a player that just has enough to get an AWP, and so you buy around it.
That's really a really interesting move. It obviously can pay off. Now it's gonna. What we need to see is if Saw actually use it aggressively and try to get those picks and actually open the or control the map for LGR. Because otherwise, if he stays passive, I feel like this Saw is kind of useless.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing a good op spot, but in terms of what the round calls for based off of what your team's equipment is, you kind of need to be putting yourself in positions where you're going to get kills. Like, he just got a kill on Disco Doppelin, but that's really just because Disco went into his crosshair, not him trying to find an angle. So here we go. Op kills are coming in. Zuri was able to get his own kill on the other side of the map. So he has long control. The bomb is planted at A. Draken has an AWP and is fighting someone hit, so that's a perfect fight for the terrorist, and he actually does win that fight. Soft trying to follow up. He has 3 kills, but Draken gets that second one, looking for that catwalk, and he's just in a rhythm. Hits the shot, 10-10.
Really good round there by Draken, and what I liked on the CT side there is whoever flanked T mid actually saw the T drop mid to flank CT and instantly said to Saw, there's one guy flanking you, and by doing that, it didn't give away his position. So Draken didn't know if that last guy was going to come from Cat or even from Long. And he had to be looking at both spots, otherwise it would have been an easier round for Draken, even though he actually did a really good round there. I mean, a 1v2 at the end with 2 nice shots.
Yeah, so throwaway round here from LGR. At least it was until they got 2 kills. Alright, now it's kind of a little normal here. Zuri's last one alive, 1-on-3. Some kills traded out. Epsilon just kind of holding their ground and walks right into a headshot sandwich. And now we're going into round 22. It's 11-10. It's tight. The CT's kind of an interesting situation. Basically, do we want to M4 or would we want to like maybe half buy and get AWPs this following round? They're gonna opt for the former, and they're gonna get the rifles. Ow! Crossing 7 down to 3 HP. So he's one of the 2 B players actually. So that B defense is severely weakened. Epsilon not really in positions to capitalize it just yet. They are going for mid control so that maybe they can go into mid B. They're working their progression. None middle to fight with. Saw is in his CT spawn box spot, so he's able to hear all this footsteps coming in from catwalk. Flash mid, no one to be seen. So terrorists maintain control, holding tight angles, seeing if anyone plays into them now. It's 1 minute and 10 seconds left into this round. Doing a little head stack. And LGR is just playing tight. They've been playing strict kind of team Counter-Strike this whole time. And I think Epsilon's kind of, you know, getting used to that sort of play style at this point, just making good decisions in terms of what types of fights they should be anticipating. So they're maintaining the mid control. The bomb is now just moving from T-spawn. It's pretty normal for the opper, maybe or just to hold from T-spawn. They're throwing the crisscross smokes at mid, one on the left, one on the right. So there's no information to be gained from the CTs in terms of how many people are actually in there. It looks like they're gonna boost. They boost Zealous. They do a reverse CT spawn boost. I don't think I've ever seen this either. So some pretty interesting stuff. No one to be seen. They're going to push through the smoke. It's kind of like a reverse elevator rush split from Cat. And LGR doing a great job holding the line. No one to be found. 10 seconds left. Zuri is in Goose to kill the bomber, and that's pretty much round over. Even though there's still people alive, time has just run out. LGR wins. Draken holding the line, see if he can find someone, and they weren't able to get the jump shot on him. Pretty interesting round strategically. I just think LGR did a good job. I mean, I think if LGR shows a shoulder in any of those situations in that build up in the first like 45 seconds, and one of them dies, and Epsilon is still able to execute that strat, they probably don't hold it. That extra guy is probably that guy that's at Goose that stops the bomb plant, you know?
Exactly, and what I didn't like about this round on the T side by Epsilon, they actually had 2 ops, and 2 ops to run and execute isn't that great. You want to try to use those 2 ops to open the map to give you some map control and go one long, one creeping up cat or creeping up mid. Instead, they straight up went into a cat hit, and when you do a cat hit with 2 ops, I mean, it's really hard to close those angles, especially on cat.
Definitely. And going in this round, LGR kind of a tough spot. They don't have they won, but they don't have a lot of money, so that we see a few SMGs, a few 5.7s, and Epsilon kind of running around, gets caught and punished for that. And now it's a 1-on-2. Kind of interestingly, one of the players in the 2 is stuck in CT spawn. 2 players trying to push through. Pop flash goes in. Freddy B finds one. Sagerton pushes through, gets the second. Draken left alone in the side. Zuri shows his hip and gets walled, but that only does about 30 damage, so good job. Draken gets that kill as he's pushing up, but Zuri finishes it off. And LGR answer back. So let's take a look at how the rounds have played out. So that's 2 in a row for the CTs. Again, only 1 player surviving though, so again, the money is super tight. Regardless of them winning, 2 of their players had basically $0 to start off the round, and their buying spree from the last round, so they only got 3,500. So it's still very tight here. The terrorists not gonna go with the read on the money. They're just gonna go with, you know, let's get full nades. Let's give these guys a good fight. So Deagle's being bought, 1 P250, kind of spread out. 2 players working lower B, 2 players in back cat, 1 towards long.
And it's a really good move on Epsilon there, because I feel they know so far. I mean, Drake and Op has been on fire, and I feel you need to have this guy with an Op, so like on this map so far. So really going with the Deagle even worked in the past rounds on their T side, where they just basically plowed over LGR really easily. Took that round like it was, I think, at the end they had 4 guys alive and LGR was entirely dead. So, but I mean, so far it hasn't worked that way. But I mean, it's just a gamble that you take. But next round, you're going to be able to have a really nice buy going in, probably having that up on Draken, and be able to work the map around with Draken probably floating with his op and trying to get entry picks like he's been doing this entire T side. Has been working fantastic for them.
Yeah, it has been working good. But LGR coming out on top this round, all 5 alive versus 1 on res. They're trying to see if they can find some sort of fight with their Deagles, and LGR are not playing that game. They've played tight together and were able to win all of their fights across the board. So 13-11 in their favor, and now that money saved from the last round is coming into play. Op on Draken. He actually has a pretty good spawn for long, and looks like he's going to run out there with res, possibly. 4 players going towards that way, so it looks like it's going to be some long control. And lo and behold, the CTs have a 3-player setup there, waiting for the pop flashes. 1 player gets out towards that blue mid. No Molotov there, but Sagerton gets that trade. But trades always favor the T's. So now they've gained a little bit, and oh my god, that smoke goes down. Draken shoots him as soon as the smoke goes down, and now Zealous follows up on the Saw. Zari goes down from Freddy, who just jumps down from CT spawn, and now everyone just dying so quickly. Twista rotating for B, getting that kill from the player who dropped CT spawn and double doors, moving up to catwalk for the retake. Drake gets set up at long, and the bomb is planted for him, and Zealous is just going to play a nuisance and is actually able to get that kill. So Epsilon answers right back, and now that money that they saved from all 5 even surviving from that last round, it's basically still dried out because of the echoes of what the money situation was the round before.
And I really like what LGR decided to do there. They're like, you know, guys, just go into a light buy. Don't waste your money. We have pretty decent money. Get into a great buy on the next round. It's going to be 13-13 and just keep going there. Because you could have forced bought with Famises and stuff. Since they knew Epsilon money wasn't looking that great, it could have probably maybe even put Epsilon on a double eco if they won that round, which meant that LGR would have pretty much won the match. But instead, they decided to play it safe, and that's a smart move.
For sure. So LGR doing a good job. Epsilon, man, I mean, these are the types of rounds, like, you know, when we saw in Mirage that they would make the decision for like the SMG buy and play really smart for an anti-eco. But LGR, you know, it seems like because this round or these rounds have been so close, it kind of gets murky in terms of like what the money situation really is. So they kind of play it as a gun round. You know, if you knew the money situation and the equipment that's going on, you wouldn't just walk one guy out B after you get one guy dies at another part of the map. It's just not a good move for that situation, especially when you give such a high prize gun like an AK to him. So now Twist is able to watch B from a different distance because he has that AK. Epsilon in this kind of tattered situation here, 3-on-5. They're opting to stay grouped up. Opper's holding angles. Rez is spotting into CT spawn. The other teammate looking at B, and that now that they know that they're mid and there's no FOTs to be given, they just have to make a decision. You going B or you going A? So Draken stays mid and then gets flanked. Op is in the hands of Rez, and that means the bomb is down. Or excuse me, Sagerton. Rez gets has an AK pushing up. 6 seconds, 5. Able to get the bomb down with just about 2.5 seconds, 3 left. So 3-on-2. Molly going down, smoke going down. This is going to delay a little bit, and Saw jumping over the smoke, gets that kill. Zari pushes behind that Molly and is able to find an angle to fight someone, and LGR get the round win.
I mean, at the end, it was really important on Epsilon to get that bomb plan there to give them that extra money, but at the same time, it should have never happened. Like, LGR played that round really well. It was a light buy for them, or should we say like a typical eco. And instead, they decided to play it like you said, kind of like it was a gun round, tried to push up a bit with those pistols, got aggressive towards the mid doors, like being pushed up. Same thing at long, got those picks, got the AK, and at the end it was a 3v2, or even more a 5v3, and it turns into like a 4v2, and they actually were able to win that 3v2 at the end. And I mean, it's just good by LGR side to be able to pull those type of eco rounds on the CT side, especially since it's really important for them if they want to stay alive in this match.
Definitely. So looks like some good opener nades by the CTs is going to delay this Epsilon take. They've been set up to go long pretty much this whole time, and then buzzkill, another smoke goes down at the door, so it's going to delay it even longer. They have 4 players positionally committed to this, while Draken has made his progression through the B tunnels and is holding the door. So it's pretty acceptable to just kind of hold these long positions as just that one player at the doors. It's a pretty good risk to just kind of give up the B tunnel push, but you can watch mid and long and cat push from that spot. They go out long, the XQ comes in, and it just gets smashed. 3 players focused on those long doors, no smokes isolating no one, and they just flash right through, and now LGR is in a commanding position to take this map. So going in on this last round, taking a look at the equipment here. It's head armor, it's Deegs per usual by Epsilon. Some quick stuff coming out long. They're smoking mollying, but a molly and a flash stops that, but they smoke it out, and Zelos just runs through, gets a headshot onto Sagerton, and now they're gonna have to back up. Saw's backpedaling, trying to get a kill, and actually does through the smoke. So Disco gets punished for that. 4 on 3, only Deagles to be had. 7 working up Cat, finds 1. Rez dies to him as well. Last player in pit, Zuri with an AWP can basically just hold this down on his own, but he's gonna play the respect game and let him get out. Freddie B pushes out, picks up an M4, gets a kill on a 7 who's pushing up, who just unneeded at this point. Just let's finish off this map, and Twista gets the follow-up. That's 16-12. Closing thoughts.
I didn't expect that. I thought Epsilon was gonna have the aim advantage on Dust 2. It's a really more open map. I felt like their aim on Mirage was on point. I was like, it's gonna be maybe not an easy victory, because Dust 2 is one of those maps that is so polished. Everybody knows Dust 2. Everybody plays Dust 2, and anything can happen on Dust 2. And I felt like we were gonna see like Epsilon win, but like a tighter score than what happened on Mirage, maybe like a 16-9, 16-10 type of score. But instead, LGR actually came in big, had some interesting play up their sleeves, and seems like Epsilon couldn't really get their money going on that T side, and LGR had better setup, better position, played it really well, felt like they didn't lose anybody for no reason, and their money was looking kind of great. And I'm going to be really interested to see what's going to happen on Nuke. It's like one of their first match I'm actually going to see on that new Nuke. Like, there's not that many teams that want to play that map, and I'm assuming it's a randomizer that got it, but like still, at the end, it's a nice map to see.
Yeah, let's see how prepared these teams are on it. As it's been kind of the narrative with Nuke, it's been like people kind of leaving it in there because they're calling the bluff of that maybe the other team isn't that versed into it, and that they're still just continuing to ban their normal bans, or it could be oh, we're amazing at this map, so let's go ahead and see how it plays out. So we're gonna take a little quick break here. We're going on to map 3, scores 1-1 between Epsilon and LGR. This is the RGN Pro Series close qualifier for Europe. Stay tuned, boys and girls.